evening, everyone. Welcome back to Discordant Dragons. Happy 2026. First stream of the year on my channel. Welcome. This will be a pretty standard episode with some familiar faces, but I would like to let everyone know I have made it through the holiday season. I know that many of you who keep up with me in my morning walk series, my mother's husband actually survived, and at the last moment on Christmas Day, he received a liver transplant. And it was rough for about a week, but he has bounced back and accepted the liver. And my life is, because of that, hopefully going to be much less hectic here in a few days when he gets processed out of intensive care. So everything seems to be going well in that department. So thank God, and thank all of you who constantly prayed for me and my family during that. Thank you very much. Also, a big thank you to Jason Kuna and to 8-Bit Picky for sending me financial gifts for Christmas while I was off. I got $100 from Jason Kuna and $50 from 8-Bit Picky. Thank you guys so much for the nice little Christmas presents. I noticed that and I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the dollary dues. Now, I have experimented the last month with leaving Discordant Dragons up on YouTube, and it gets views. There's no strikes, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. So we are going to continue with that trend in 2026 and see if it's safe to keep leaving Discordant Dragons up on YouTube. So if it does start to be a problem again, I will have to delete them and we'll only be able to get them on Discord and Odyssey like I had to do a couple of years ago. But you can still find the backlog on Rumble and Odyssey. So there we have it. All the housekeeping is out of the way, and I now bring on the featured guest of the evening, the one and only Miss Aydin Paladin. Welcome back to 2026, my dear.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here to start the year off right with Discordant Dragons. You've been around since the beginning, and I love having you on at the first of the year.
Oh, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Of course. And speaking of people who are old school, who I love and have worked with a long time, Mr. Newsfist returns tonight. Good night, sir, or good evening, sir.
Hey, yes. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas season to everyone. First Discordant Dragons of 2026. It's going to be. We're nearly at 2030. We're on the downslope to 2030. I cannot today.
Don't
the grades reset.
And of course, we have Ardent Pardy filling in the fourth chair. Old timer. I've actually known him longer than the other two. Welcome to the stream tonight, sir.
I know, it scares me too sometimes. Hi, everybody.
We're old. Oh no. All right.
Back in my day, there was none of this.
And in the co-host chair, back as usual, is 3 of 12. Happy New Year, 3.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
I know you were a bit sick for a bit, and it sounds like you're on the mend. You can actually speak today.
Yes, I can. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but it's crazy that like every day is just a near future scenario now.
Oh my goodness, spreading the holiday cheer. We already have a Rumble rant for $50 from Captain Corgi.
What? Really?
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much, Captain Corgi. That's a great donation. I really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much. And that's all that the message said, was just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's why I responded the way I did. So, thankfully, with all of the cavorting and crap I've had to do with insurance trolls and medical people, thankfully I have avoided getting the flu or any horrible disease in the last few weeks. So I'm very thankful for that. My health is doing pretty good, actually. So I'm very thankful. Now, I know why you are all here. You are here for the Discordant Dragons. You are here for the banter, the news, the laughs, the memes, and I shall deliver. Let us start with the topics tonight. The red dragon has oil. The green dragon has political posturing. The black dragon has do not redeem, sir. The white dragon has white date, white erased. And the blue dragon has big brother cometh. Now, as is usual on the stream, we nominate a party leader. And because 2026, I don't want to jinx it, let's go ahead and not let a woman be the party leader. That sounds like bad juju. So of the men that are present, I think I would like Newsfist to be party leader. We will slide him up to the top.
Oh, wow. I am honored. Thank you very much. Yes.
Now, Newsfist is a veteran. He knows how it works. But for those of you who might not have been here for a while, or for those who need or who are new entirely, the reason why a party leader matters is the framing device for us speaking about the news. These dragons are from a make-believe D&D world of the Council of Worms. They are part of the Great Dragon Empire, where elves and dwarves and men live across many worlds under the rule of dragons. And they are interested in planet Earth, so they pick news topics and ask us questions about them. And I nominate a party leader to choose the dragon topic, and the party leader may also nominate a party member to choose the topic instead. And why does that matter? Because whoever chooses the topic is the first one to answer the dragon's question after I'm done showing the video or reading a bit of the news article before it opens to general discussion. So, Mr. Newsfist, is there a topic you would like to start with, sir?
Yeah, I'll do the Big Brother comment. Yeah, I haven't been sufficiently traumatized by 2026 yet. So
it's a good thing that you chose this one because it's UK specific. I'm sure you would never have guessed that.
God damn it. Of
No
course.
way.
All right, let's go. Here we go. UK lawmakers propose mandatory on-device surveillance and VPN age verification on every smart device in the country. Lawmakers in the UK are proposing amendments to the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill that would require nearly all smartphones and tablets to include built-in unremovable surveillance software. The proposal appears under a section titled Action to Promote the Well-Being of Children by Combating Child Sexual Abuse. Of course, that's a thing we all like, but we have seen many times before how ugly things are shoehorned in with other things we support like that. This amendment specifies any related device supplied for use in the UK must have installed tamper-proof system software, there's no such thing, which is highly effective at preventing the recording, transmitting, and viewing of CSAM using that device. It further defines relevant devices as smartphones or tablet computers, which are either internet connectable products or network connectable products for the purposes of Section 5 or the Product Security and Telecommunications Infrastructure Act. Under this clause, manufacturers, importers, and distributors would be legally required to ensure every internet-connected phone or tablet they sell in the UK meets this requirement. Enforcement would occur as if the CSAM requirement was a security requirement for the purposes of Part 1. In practical terms, the only way for such software to prevent the recording, transmitting, and viewing of CSAM would be for devices to continuously scan and analyze all photos, video, and live streams, including live communications, handled by each device. That process would have to take place directly on users' phones and tablets, examining both personal and encrypted material to determine whether any of it might be considered illegal. Although the measure is presented as a child safety protection, its operation would create a system of constant client-side scanning to be fed to the government. This means the software would inspect private communications, media, and files on personal devices without your consent. Such a mechanism would undermine end-to-end encryption and normalize preemptive surveillance built directly into consumer hardware. The latest figures from German law enforcement offer a clear warning about the risk of expanding this type of surveillance. In 2024, nearly half of all CASM scanning tips received by Germany were errors. According to the Federal Crime Police Office, 99,375 of the just over 200,000 reports forwarded by U.S.-based National Center for Missing and Exploited Children were not criminally relevant, an error rate of 48.3%. Many of these reports originate from private companies such as Meta, Microsoft, and Google, which voluntarily scan user communication and forward suspected material to governments. Such a high error rate means that users are having their legal and private photos and videos falsely flagged and sent to authorities at alarming rates, a massive invasion of privacy. And there's a lot more to the article, but we will leave it off there for sake of time. So let us move now to the Blue Dragon, which is this beautiful gentleman right here. I love this artwork. It's one of my favorite pictures I have. It's great. The blue with us tonight is the same astromancer who visited us before, and he's glad to be back. He wishes us the best in our struggles and pursuit of truth. Speaking of, he chose this story tonight about ghastly government overreach to ask us this. And Newsfist, it comes to you first, appropriately enough. Do you think policies like these are inevitable when every aspect of society has a digital component? If data is required for law enforcement, what other option do governments have?
I'm not sure this is practical. So let us examine this law. So clearly, we all know they want digital ID. They want, you have to, go on, use actual ID to go online, use a VPN, age assurance, all this kind of other stuff, right? Supposedly they've rolled this out in Australia, but I don't know how effective it's been. I haven't seen anything of the Australian government saying like, wow, how awesome it is, which makes me believe it's not going great. I don't know. But they would have to essentially spin up a phone company that would make these devices. And I'm not sure, like, as far as I'm aware, there are no handheld devices made with this kind of like client-side scanning thing. It's a massive, massive security vulnerability, right? Because essentially, I mean, governments make these kind of laws all the time. They know fucking nothing about how technology works. This is one of the problems when you have all this shit run by women. They're just like, we're going to outlaw this thing. And when you try and explain to them, well, it's not technically possible. They're like, well, I don't care. I want it anyway, right? I don't believe that this is about CSAM either. They keep letting fucking like rapists into the country that like actually prey on people and kill them, but they're like, oh, that's too hard, right? This is clearly about surveillance. But let's sort of think this through, okay? So every phone is going to have to basically have like a version of Microsoft's Copilot that scans your screen all the time. And then if it detects something naughty, it's going to
notify the authorities.
Send it to the government, right? Like, shut down your phone. How exactly is this going to like fucking work, right? Digital ID, I can see happening more likely. I think this is just going to spur a massive hacking backlash. Okay, phones in America won't have this thing. Are they going to outlaw everyone having a phone that doesn't have this chip on it? How's that going to work? Are they going to like make illegal every single device made without this chip? Right? It will just spike the secondhand value of all phones made before the introduction of this chip. I just think it's a poorly thought through policy that probably is not really viable. What is the EU and Australia going to team up and make their own phone? Are you fucking kidding? These people couldn't fucking manufacture their way out of a fucking brown paper bag. Like, it's
okay.
It's just like, and if they do, imagine, right, like all the wokies got together and they made like a new handset, it would be shit. Imagine how shit it would be, right? Like,
it would probably be made by Indians for the lowest bidder, so it would be terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I countersing a lot of that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
It's actually extremely easy to do this, because governments ask for special stuff all the time.
Yeah.
What they'll just do is they'll put a different app in the ROM for the UK region, and that's all they'll do. And basically, what it'll do is it'll take a screenshot of your screen once in a while, which is not hard to do. Very easy for an app in the background to do that. It just needs to have frictions.
The law doesn't say we're going to stick an app on your phone. The law says they want hardware.
No, it specifically says software. It says all hardware sold, vended, rented, etc. in the UK. They want to have this software in a non-removable state embedded in it. So it's a software thing, not a hardware thing.
Okay,
which means most likely it'll just be an app in the ROM for that region only.
Yeah.
And that means you'll only ever really see it on that version of the phone. And like how there's like international versions. There are versions of phones for specific countries. Turkey is a common one, that have either slightly different hardware or they have slightly different software. And it's really not that complicated. It eats into their profit a little bit because they're going to have to do special things for them. But honestly, at a point, it starts to get like that for many countries that have dictatorial governments anyway. So they're kind of used to it at this point.
Yeah.
So no, it's not going to be a big deal. It's easy
don't they
to
already
implement.
do that for phones in Saudi Arabia? I think they do.
Yeah. Yes. There's all sorts of like minor region variants. Usually one
well,
for
that
yeah.
sucks us. That's me completely BTFO. Thank you, 3.
Sorry about that.
And that's okay, but I'd like 3 to expand on this. One of the things that they mentioned in the article we didn't get to was they wanted to make it where all VPNs that you could obtain in the UK would have to require UK approved ID for confirming that you're 18 or older. So would that also be just as easy, or is that one of those, it's the internet, bro, that's not enforceable, I can get a VPN from anywhere?
It's like both, literally both. They're going to be software that any software that's big and used by millions of people is probably not going to be able to get past it. But you're going to be able to download a VPN that's like dirt cheap or like Proton or whatever, and they'll just go around it. Especially if they don't even operate in the UK. They
so
could
bigger
just choose
ones that are known, like NordVPN, for example. Like,
they'll probably do it because honestly, they're a bunch of fuckwits anyway.
Yeah, but because there are so many other VPNs that are smaller that you can just snag from anywhere, that would be an easy workaround that the UK government couldn't really enforce.
The answer would just be don't operate in the UK and just download it.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't have a company. They just don't have a subsidiary there. So like they just UK users just download it from a server in the US, and then what are they going to do? Nothing.
There were problems with this. I mean, when this first started being discussed a while ago, the solution to it is pretty obvious. It's to put a firewall around the entire country, the way that China has one. Of course, people who are dedicated enough can still get around that, but
yeah, it doesn't work either.
I know, but it's the more obvious option if it really is that you want to protect people from being able to see access CSAM material, which of course is the excuse, and that's because it has nothing to do with that, of course. It's just to spy on you. It has nothing to do with the CSAM stuff. Them bringing that up is consistent, and that, which is of course optically fantastic for the government, because if you oppose it in any way, well, that must be because you want to look at CSAM, and fucking normies buy that shit. But yeah, there's a reason why they've not gone for the firewall and instead gone for this much more invasive sort of policy. Again, there will probably be ways around it for people who are tech savvy, but the vast majority of people will not be inclined to do that, nor will have the capacity to, technical capacity.
Yeah, this is just an extension of the Conservative Manifesto from like 2016 when they said they wanted all encryption to be broken and they want the UK to be a walled garden and all that crap. It's all unachievable, would completely break modern conventions, isn't really enforceable, and then went nowhere.
And also because in the West, so many people are entrepreneurs and like to make things, and we have millions of people that are technically savvy and understand coding and communication software and networking. The more that they try to wall us off, the more it just encourages entrepreneurship to make workarounds and to make new services and products that bypass that shit. So I don't see that happening in the UK, the US, France, Germany, etc. They can try, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think they will get China levels of walled off firewall total control. And let us not forget, China's the biggest example here, and it doesn't even work. Like, there's so many easy ways around it. Like my friend who lives in China, he says people who are like 12 years old know how to bypass that shit easily and just do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, the problem that the EU kind of has, is if they turn around and basically adopt the China model, it's going to
digital bump stocks incoming.
The EU is like constantly. Australia's going to join them too. The UK, they're constantly in the position of being like, oh yes, we're a free and liberal society, and then they just start basically being like China. You know, the latest thing to come out of the Zionists in America is did you know, right, that you need to restrict the First Amendment in order to save it, right?
Yeah, I've heard that from shit libs my whole life.
Yeah. Well,
you can't argue that with Canadians. Come on.
Yeah. See, freedom of speech isn't really free if minority voices don't feel represented, right? And
Well, then they can get the fuck out.
the tide of hate on social media is causing those minority voices to not want to participate. So really, if you think
Good.
about it, if you restricted the majority's ability to express themselves, you would in fact make the internet more free by allowing more diverse minority voices to express themselves.
Wow.
That's
sounds
literally the
great.
fucking argument.
That sounds absolutely
Well,
wonderful.
I mean,
yeah.
the argument that they've been consistent about is the same one that was presented in that article, though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Big
run-
O's.
Poor Lord Finkelstein. I have
Me
heard a
dad
couple
was
of
a shoe.
died in the hollow. Occasionally they'll run with the kind of that sort of diversity crap. However, it does seem that the consistent narrative is if you oppose this for any reason, it's really because you're a nonce. And that has a surprisingly strong effect on conservatives as well, because everybody hates nonces. So you just frame it that way.
This is what we would call a chilling effect. What they want to do is chill the opposition by creating this. Is Mott and Bailey the right term? Where if you say I don't like this, they swap it and be like, oh well, you're a this instead. Like it's. I think it might be Mott and Bailey. I don't remember exactly because I hate
the Mott and Bailey is when you have a more defensible and less defensible position.
Okay, well then what's it called when? What's the argument tactic called when you do the thing? It's like, oh well, if you don't do this, then clearly you like to beat your wife or rape kids or whatever. Like what's that?
Yeah, I can't think of the term.
Anyway, whatever that argument.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's that from a governmental society control level.
Of course,
it's a chilling effect on opposition. They put forward this big front under the thing of protecting children from sexual abuse, and when anybody comes out and says, "Hey, that's evil what you're doing," they're like, "Oh, so you're for human trafficking and child abuse, you naughty piece of crap!" Like, and even though people understand that that's not the case, it's that chilling factor. It's that social fear factor there of not wanting to be labeled as a not supporter, and I think that is that's why they try to usher in all this crap under socially digestible banners. It's been that way for a long time. Like even going back with the gun control idiots in the United States 50 and 60 years ago. This is the same kind of shit they were pushing. It's like, oh, well, you support criminals holding up pregnant women with guns, and it was like, no, I support my family's right to defend ourselves the way that my founding fathers wanted me to. It has nothing to do with me wanting to give bad people guns. Like, because all that gun control does is take away guns from law-abiding people. So it's like you could say the same thing about all this other digital shit too. It's like, no, you just want to take power away from the people. It's that every single time.
Yeah, can I just make a brief observation? It's kind of interesting that nonce is like the only blackening term left that hasn't like lost its luster.
Pretty much,
right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, racism has gone. Anti-Semitism is gone. No one cares about. No one cares about crime anymore. Really, right? Like, it's
not Stalin fallacy.
Because if they then try and front load the same kind of political warfare operation onto that, it's gonna get interesting. Like, I just don't believe for a second that really they care about kids. Otherwise,
no, of course not. Of course not, because this doesn't do anything to protect kids. Not really. The people who will probably be best able to figure out workarounds because they want to go see boobies or whatever are going to be teenagers and kids. I mean, that's just the truth. It's going to be older people who are going to go, I don't understand this newfangled technology, as it always has been. You know, the first people to figure out ways around this will be the tech savvy and young people, if they really want to get around it. Now, will some of this stuff perhaps prevent some children from being exposed to CSAM?
Young gooners, rise up, say free speech.
You know, maybe a couple, but that's of course not the actual purpose of it. Whatsoever, and the number of young people it will protect is nominal, but that is what you're going to find. I think is that the people most able and most willing to find workarounds for it will be the exact people this is supposed to protect.
So
allegedly,
I have something else I would like us to talk about. So let me shift gears here because we only have so much time. The reason I phrased the dragon's question the way I did, which just so you can remember it, let me pop it up here real fast.
Yes,
Do you
the
think
second part I want.
policies like these are inevitable when every aspect of society is a digital component? If data is required for law enforcement, what other option do governments have? And so I think about how things have changed during my life, things going from the 80s until now. There were many of us in the 90s, myself included, who said, hey, the internet's the best thing since sliced bread. This is going to change everything. And a bunch of naysayers were like, no, things will be the same. No, things were not the same. And then smartphones came about, smart devices, instant things, social media. And I saw step by step everything about human interaction, society, business, learning, education, child rearing. It's all different now. And so I want you guys to all stop, clear your mind, and think about what it's like for the literal millions of elected officials in the EU, in every European country, in the United States, in Canada. These are bell curve people that do what they're told and like having an easy job. And what do they see coming across their desks? Now, remember, these people are the most mind-warred, propaganda-controlled people in our countries. Because as Newsfist and I covered on the Empire of Lies, the propaganda is to shape the functionaries of the system. They don't give a crap about us plebs as long as we do what we're told. The never-ending propaganda is to make them conform to the moral code that the real power expects its functionaries to uphold. So these millions of people, millions of elected officials, they don't think like us. They see immigrants and everybody is the same. They're just part of different client groups. They have to fight crime. They have to stop unrest. They have to, quote unquote, do the right thing. And so these millions of bell curve fuckwits in all of our governments, they want to stop crime. They want to stop pedophilia. They want to stop illegal sex trade. They want to stop human trafficking. They want to stop A, B, C, D, and E. But all of this stuff now, because of how technology has changed, is handled digitally with smart devices and internet and all this other crap. So what other option do these functionaries have than to want more and more control over all digital spaces and devices? What other option is there? I can't think of one. That's why I ask you guys tonight. What's the other option?
I think it is inevitable that this happens. The UK and Australia and the rest of the Anglosphere usually gets this stuff before the US does. But when I talked about this back when they were first starting to really discuss the digital ID stuff last year, well, when places like, Kiwi Farms stopped being able to operate. And by the way, Kiwi Farms and 4chan are still suing Ofcom and going forward with it. These places like the UK and Australia, et cetera, tend to be staging grounds to test basically how the US ends up rolling it out inevitably. It will be a harder sell in the US, maybe, but I don't think so once you go with the same. I think the same narrative will work. If you tell Americans that you're protecting children from being perved on or from being sexually exploited on the internet, they will sign up to give over their freedoms to privacy and to internet
some
security.
will, yeah, for sure.
A lot of them will.
I don't think most.
I think
that's the thing. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ultimately, I think it won't matter what Americans think. They'll just push it through Congress.
And again, the vast majority of people, they don't even know they wouldn't have any idea what to do about it. They'll just go, oh, okay, so that's the thing that's happening now, with pretty much no awareness that it's even going on.
Yeah, at most, you might have a MAGA reaction, and it will be on Twitter, and it might be something that knocks people further in that direction, right? It'll be one of those many, many, many small things that eventually got Trump in the White House eventually, right? And I think in the greater scheme of things, it won't have much effect on how anybody thinks about anything. It will further radicalize people who are already radicalized, and the shitlibs will not even be aware of it. It's not even that they'll care. They just won't be aware of it. They're not aware of anything. Anything they are aware of, it gets memory hold very quickly. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
wanted
to hear what Ardent had to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's, and I did say in chat that I think it's mostly the crowd that were raised on TV. A lot of our generation is, and definitely the generation before us. And unfortunately, those are the ones who are the ones that are most politically active, or at least without being politically conscious. And those people will believe what's told them by the news because they were raised with the idea that the news was trustworthy, and it might very well have been when we were kids. It certainly isn't now. But on
It
top of
wasn't.
that, and no, probably not completely anyway. Um, but on top of that, then you have the fact that you're right. These politicians have no idea what else they can do because they're seeing this problem get out of control, and they're so used to being the ones with the control that they think, okay, well, we need to exercise greater control. But there are other options, I think. Now, I might be a little blue sky about this, and I won't lie. You guys know I tend to be the somewhat idealistic optimist of all of us. But we already have warrants, for one thing. If data is required, you should be required to get a warrant to seize it or to access it. But beyond that, people hate child predators.
Yeah.
Viscerally. People hate them. There's a reason JD Delay has so many followers. And part of that is if you can mobilize the average person and say, okay, if you guys give us a tip here, we will follow it. We will absolutely investigate every tip we get. Yeah, sure, they're going to get some crank stuff. And that always happens anyway. It doesn't matter if it's a telephone line. It doesn't matter if it's an email. But if you tell the public, hey, you are able to help us, aces. You are going to get people. The internet autists absolutely love the idea of a crusade. You tell them, hey, it's open season. You send us any data regarding CSAM, and we're going to chase it down.
Sure.
They will have to do your job for you.
Well, okay. Well, again, let's think about where society is headed based on where we all know it came from. When you have the ability to look up anything, to order anything, to talk to anyone online, it has so dramatically changed how governments can function, specifically around news media and how the public is informed on any topic. All of the legacy media and cable TV, it has to be known to people with power who look into this stuff. They know that people like under 40 don't give a wet fart about anything on CNN or Fox News or any type of syndicated TV. Everyone younger than like 35 who matters at all pretty much only gets their intelligence from 4chan, social media, their favorite YouTuber, following newscasts on Rumble. This is where it's all happening. And if people with power want to actually have power, then they have to control that. Like, I'm not saying that this is good. I'm not saying I support that. What I'm saying is, from a position of power, how do you order your functionaries to oversee the society that you rule? They have to be able to control information, to control what gets into people's heads, to control what does A, B, C, D, and E. So this is why I view the more technologically advanced that we become, the more ruling bodies will want to have all of this embedded spyware just because they have to as a necessity to do their jobs. This is why I think this kind of thing is inevitable. And this is why so many people are Uncle Ted pilled, because they don't want that future. Is because they realize that. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, any closing thoughts or anything else you guys want to say on this topic before we move on?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, it's just better it's better for a government to be transparent than to do shit like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I'm just saying that's why I feel like that it's inevitable. But you know, I'm an optimist, even though I think negatively about things sometimes. I still hope for the best, like always. So anyway, the topics. Mr. Newsfist, you are the party leader. We just did Big Brother Cometh. What shall be next?
Aydin, I choose you.
Well, let's do oil.
Oil. It is oil. This one will probably be a short one. We can make up some time on this one here. Let me pop this open here and get it ready. Yeah, here we go. This is it. We're just going to have a quick glance at an X post, at a Twitter post, because I found it interesting. Venezuela currently has 303 billion barrels of crude oil reserve, which Trump says the U.S. now controls. Oil prices are trading at 57 a barrel, making Venezuela's total reserves worth around 17.3 trillion. Even if the U.S. sells this oil for half the market value, that's still 8.7 trillion U.S. dollars. In other words, in 12 hours, the U.S. has gained control of oil reserves worth more than the entire GDP of all countries in the world, aside from U.S. and China. That's 4 times larger than the GDP of Japan. Most people do not realize how much the world just changed. Oil markets will react to this news for the first time on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The next few days will be critical. Now, I do not think that things are going to change that much. But for all of you who know that it is true that the U.S. dollar is based on an association of oil prices and property stuff with liens and borrow things. I don't remember the financial words about how I learned about it 20 years ago about how it all works. But property values, interest, bonds, oil prices, etc., do calculate the value of the U.S. dollar, which of course is the real strength and the real military force of the United States-Israel global usury machine. So let us move to the Red Dragon and see what he has to say. The Red with us tonight is the same worm who's been on with us to speak about affairs of war and state before, and he's glad to be back. He chose this topic to hear our thoughts about geopolitical motives and associations. So this comes to you first. Do you think the Maduro op was mainly about the U.S. securing oil for economic strength? What other motives do you think could be behind it?
Oh, well, I mean, it depends on when you were asking this question, because first I remember it was about drugs and stopping the drug trade. And then very quickly it became about all of this oil. Now, there's a big question is that, well, just because we captured the guy in charge and brought him to New York, does that make America sovereign over Venezuela? That's not exactly how it works. And in fact, there's still people in charge in Venezuela who are running the country. It couldn't perhaps have something to do with the fact that Venezuela is one of very few countries that doesn't have a Rothschild-owned central bank. It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that Venezuela has a trade relationship with Iran. It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that Venezuela was essentially operating outside of the US petrodollar. It would not be in the United States' best interest to actually rapidly, massively reduce the cost of products that use oil because of this, even if they did have access
was already
to it.
unpopular. It was like, it was actually a kindness to just go nab him in the night instead of Gaddafiing him like the Clintons would.
Well, for sure. I mean, in that sense as well, but that's why you keep seeing all these fake videos that are being posted of, look at the people celebrating, and they end up all being fake. I'm not saying that there are people in Venezuela who are happy to have Maduro gone. However, this had nothing to do with oil. Not really. It will not. Now, by the way, it's not this past Sunday. It's Monday now, at least. So where's the massive changes in the oil prices? Where's the massive changes in the economy that are supposed to occur overniid?
Yeah,
it's not occurring.
I thought that
do I have to interject?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Because gas prices have already crashed in Canada.
Really?
Yes.
It's getting low for a while. But
but the thing is, gas prices have been down
petrol/fuel prices where I live have been lower than they've been in many, many years. Like they were already headed down anyway.
The cost of gas in particular has not been one of the leading economic. I mean, going down.
It was down to under $2 a gallon for the first time in so many years.
Let's see. Gas is trading on the Imperial Oil Limited. Let's see. Trading is at 122, and it's dropped down to at a low of below 115. It's recovered to nearly 116. It's not. That's enormous for one day, but it seems like that there are effects worldwide, but it's going to take some time for it to kick in.
I don't think it is. Well, first of all, the U.S. didn't just gain control. I mean, maybe the U.S. didn't actually just gain control of all of Venezuela's oil. The idea that we did that is patently absurd. The U.S. didn't conquer Venezuela. We took out their leader, who appears to have been. I mean, there was very little, fighting over that. Very little.
And obviously, what will happen, which I completely believe it when the Trump admin said this, they want to manage Venezuela, put in an elected Democratic leader. And of course, that person will be loyal to the machine and thus loyal to the U.S. hegemon.
Like that's
I have no
Yeah,
doubt
that'd
in
be
my mind
Mikado.
that's the goal. It seems blatantly obvious if you pay attention to the things that go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
A Zionist Jewish woman, Mikado, who is clearly the one who's going to be put in charge, is also not popular in the same way that Maduro was not popular, but she's going to be in charge now. And she's made it explicitly clear.
Aydin, actually,
Uh-huh.
Trump has come out and he has said that Machado is not going to be the president. You want to know why? Well, she won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. That prize was rightfully mine. And she didn't give it up. It made me very, very sad. So she's not going to be the leader of Venezuela. You think I'm joking, but
No,
I mean, if it's not
I'm
her,
laughing
there's
at it, but I
another
know
guy
it's true.
who's closely connected to her. So if it's not her, it's another one of these ultra Zionist, probably Jewish people in Venezuela who will end up taking over, because this entire action was at the behest of Israel and Israel's interests, specifically in relation to Iran.
I'm not sure it's actually going to go down that way. If I may interject,
please go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Zionists clearly want Machado. Okay, right? They have been gearing this shit up for like a decade or more. Okay, Machado is like, she's a young WEF, like, global leader or whatever the fuck they call her. She was clearly expecting to be airdropped in as soon as Maduro was removed, right? Trump just turned around and said, no, it's not going to be her. The current plan, I mean, at least this is what they're saying. Obviously, I'm not privy to the fucking State Department, right? Is that basically they managed to flip the vice president, okay? And
all right.
So she's now been installed as the new president. And she says that she's going to make a deal with the US. Now, I don't know exactly what that deal is, but until that deal gets done, Venezuela is now currently under like naval blockade, and there's like a bunch of like sanctions going around trying to like cut off the money from Maduro's government. Switzerland has just like announced they're like freezing all money connected with like Maduro and the people around him. So there's going to be significant pressure applied to, I forget her name, to this VP. And I think this is what Trump means when he says, we're not going to run Venezuela, we're going to sort of control the parameters, or whatever it was that he said. Okay. But this is quite interesting because usually Trump does whatever the Zionists want. Okay, right? Remember, academic agents rule. Everything he does, he does for them. But this might signal an interesting shift. Okay, Trump might be saying, look, Israel, you can have all the countries in the Middle East, right? You want to invade fucking Syria, Iran, like, blah, 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 fill your boots, right? But Venezuela is our house, right? We're going to have an American run it, and if that's the case, then that would be some of the first, like, very significant pushback I've seen from Trump against this particular interest group.
That waits to be seen. I know the post that you're talking about, or his statements on that regarding Mikado. However, I'm curious to see where that ends up, because previously there's been some support for her. However, maybe it will come down to the Nobel Prize thing, is that he is that level of narcissistic. I think that's possible.
He might be using it as a cover.
That too.
Or she might get in, when they have elections, whenever the fuck that's going to be. My point is, they might
very
not
free
have
and fair
elections.
Yeah,
they might not have elections for a couple of years, depending on how shit goes, right? I don't know if you saw that video of like Mikado, like literally like doing the hand rubbing meme. She's like,
I know,
She's got the Senpaku eyes.
She's chomping at the bit. She needs it.
Oh, mate, like she just looks like she's, and I'm gonna like napalm strike so many children. Oh, right. just purely evil shit. But the Americans, I think one of the reasons why people and groups fold to the Zionists so much is that the Zionists have like a vision, right? They've got a plan. They've worked it out, like, in, and they have this sort of irresistible vision. But Trump also has a vision, at least for like America and its associated surrounds. So it's going to be interesting, right? Like Trump's not the kind of guy you can just sort of steamroll. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's excuse. I don't know.
No, I have to agree. This is why I can't come to the conclusion that Trump is just owned by Jews in some sort of
I
broad
definitely don't think
sense.
that. We've talked about that a lot on the channel. I don't think so either.
Certainly.
I think that
Yeah.
he's very friendly to many Jewish people,
Too close
being
for
a
my
rich
comfort.
New Yorker.
Yeah.
And we
I
all
think
know that he does love Israel, and he wants to, do quote unquote what's good for Israel too. Now he's butted heads with Satan Yahoo and the Talmudic lunatics, but I do think that there are a lot of Jewish people, especially in his family, who he does love, and I think that he that guides him, like anybody that you love and you're connected to. Like a good example, if you're a white dude and grow up around Southern blacks, you're more naturally sympathetic to them because you're around the ones that aren't the psycho, murderous, raping, lunatic, drug-addled monsters in big cities. If they're just black dudes that live out here in the boonies with us, then you're a lot more sympathetic to them, such as myself, because you grew up around them and you know how they are when they're not fucking crazy, violent shitheads. So it's like it's that same kind of sympathy, I think, has guided Trump, and why so many people who Jaceberg and want to see Israel behind everything, they're like, oh, he's just an Israeli puppet, which I don't think that's true. If you have been keeping up with the news for the last 8 years, I just don't think that's true.
They are a potential ally that he can use to further his needs, as well as the fact that he is just genuinely friendly in general. He wants to make things work with everybody. This is why he talks to. This is why he talks to Jim. Kim Jong Un. This is why he talks to Putin. This is why he talks to third world nations that normally get ignored. He's trying to pick every possible angle to improve things for America, as well as this is why he's still on a day-to-day basis. It's not like even though he wants to get out of NATO, wants to get out of the UN, it's not like he's going to violate them. It's not like he's going to betray them. It's not like he's going to just unschedule the useful war games and stuff like that until it's a formal thing. He's not here to betray anyone. He's here to reorganize and stabilize the world. That's what he wants to do, because that's good for everyone.
I do think that he does have sort of a like an old 80s and 90s Clinton-esque globalism to him. And I think that is the shine that so many Jews like about him, is the whole Tikkun Olam liberal shit. And so this is why I think that not only is Israel and the Jewish element so heavily embedded in the United States government, they have also done a very good job, that particular house of people, of, let's say, grooming Shabbos Goy to be key members of government. And then now we are generations into that, so their families are naturally sympathetic to that. So it's not like active money control and blackmail, which Mossad obviously does, but in the United States especially, so many politicians are just naturally inclined to help Israel and work with Jews and help out Jewish interests, just because that's how it's been shaped for generations.
And there also has been in my opinion, a very obvious push on the left-hand side of things for the last couple of years, in particular, which is to very, very much tie criticism of Israel and critique of Israel, bringing up questions about Israeli involvement in things, to the stinky left, to stinky communists like Hassan Piker, so that when you bring up the things that I mentioned about this situation in public or on social media or wherever, I think more people are starting to realize that maybe this isn't just this massive win that's so simple as it was originally portrayed, and it's just in America's interest. You get people who spurg out and go, "Oh, commie detected. I see that you."
Yeah, when I was a kid,
my uncle,
my uncle, one of the many who was in the military, he was just a regular Southern idiot like a lot of us, and so he believed in Judeo-Christian bullshit. And I heard him once say, "No, that person's a commie. He hates Israel." That was the tone when I was a kid to many people, and I think to many people it still is today.
It certainly is now, because look at all the people who have been the most outspoken voices critiquing Israel for the last couple of years. It's been all far leftists, because I think in many ways they were the only ones who felt comfortable doing so. Because if anyone on the right says anything about Israel, well, you get called anti-Semitic and you get put away. But the left was allowed to do that. And why? Well, now we're seeing the dividends pay out. If you in any way have critiques or criticisms, you must be a communist. You're a stinky leftist. You've got stink lines drawn all around you, right?
It's just one of those neo-lib neocon lines that just can't be crossed.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they see the Palestinians as they're being colonized by the Jews. Oh no, they're the bad person along our moral compass. And like I can understand that. I can understand how a complete normie would side with them in that sense.
Yeah.
I could also see how a complete normie could side with Israel in that sense, where the fact that Israel's been putting up with terrorist attacks since 2005 means that they're definitely victims in their own sense. It's like it's easy to fall in line on either side in that sense. Right?
I think that the understanding really comes when you realize just how much of an ugly canker sore the presence and the creation of Israel was to everyone in that region. Like,
absolutely.
Like the whole seeing them as victim thing really crumbles once you learn history and when you talk to people that have lived in that area for a long time and their families are from the Levantine area. Like it's
but consider the fact that like the terrorist attacks mostly affect innocent people. Like,
I feel bad for that. Like I don't celebrate innocent people getting hurt in this stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if you are a person who actually expands your knowing and talks to people from the Middle East, especially the Levant, it really changes your mind as an American who only has Judeo-Christian boomer truth on TV. You only know the anti-white narrative version of history that way. And so, of course, you get the one-sided story. You don't realize just what an affront Israel existing is to so many people and groups over there, especially because how they've been treated by, Western forces and Jews themselves. So it's like, it's complicated. And that's why I hate it all and don't want the West to have anything to do with it. I just want it to be done. Like what's done is done. We can't change it. We can't change the past. So all we can do is change the future. And I think that we should all work towards a severance of non-white religions and peoples and just leave them to their own devices.
Yeah, I have to come to the same conclusion. In the end, it's not our responsibility.
Yeah,
we didn't make that decision.
They shouldn't be embedded in our governments and society. We need a severance. We need to separate.
I'll pop in here with my quick take.
Sorry.
So the first
I haven't been on stream for 2 weeks. I got a lot of talking in me to get out. Sorry.
I figured. Yeah, no problem. No, that's fine. So the first part of the question was whether it was oil insecurity were the reasons. Mm-hmm. Well, peripherally. I mean, Trump badly needed a PR win. He's suffering. He's still suffering because of the H-1B thing. People are still pissed off at him over the Chinese student thing because these are both kind of abrogations of what he claimed he was going to do. So he's got a bit of a PR win there. There's also the fact the military-industrial complex just finished watching everything they've had stored for, 20 years get shipped to Ukraine and used against the Russians, or all the old stuff anyway. So now it's time for new old stuff. So there's that. One of the things that has been pointed out is that a lot of the money, or a lot of the oil and money that was related to the Venezuelan oil. Sorry, I'm repeating myself a little bit, but a lot of the money that was involved there was getting involved in the Russian side of the Ukrainian war. So there's a bit of an effect there as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think also with for Trump, it makes the EU look like their whole tough talk didn't really amount to anything when he can do one quick thing, take a half an hour on the ground, and all of a sudden, bam, he's proving that, like it or not, and it also shows this to the BRICS crowd as well, that like it or not, the U.S. is still the big swinging dick on the planet.
Yeah.
So there's that. Regarding the election thing, I see a few people in chat talking about elections. Yeah, there will be elections in 4 months if there isn't a insurgency that grows out of this, which is possible. We have a lot of communists in North America who would probably happily fund such a thing. So I don't know that there's going to be elections on a rapid pace at all. I would not be shocked if Venezuela ends up being administered by the U.S. for a decade. Just long enough to get a lot of that oil out of the ground. Well, I mean, it does strike me as creating another potential Iraq or not necessarily Afghanistan.
I don't
Well,
think it'll get to that
Afghanistan
point.
too.
I
Well,
don't
Trump
think
has
so.
already
I don't
said
think
that he's not ruled out further and future military action. So
Yeah.
again, it remains to be seen. I am worried about it becoming another Iraq. I hope it doesn't. However, I do think people need to be realistic with the fact that I mean, they did just kind of walk in and take this guy with what is for. Try to imagine, reverse the scenario, and just imagine another country walking essentially into the White House and taking Donald Trump.
If
with very
like a
little
dozen
resistance.
Chinese dudes captured
Right?
Donald Trump.
Like
Wait.
how insane, like how
Okay.
patently insane of an idea that is that would happen without some coordination, and that does link a lot of credence to the fact that he was very unpopular in Venezuela and had people who were probably working against him very close to him in order for that to be the case. But the reality is that still every other head of the Hydra who's in power in Venezuela is still there. Nothing has fundamentally changed. The U.S. blockade is still going on. But it is not as if there was a revolution by the people or anything. And again, we're finding that with the fact that so many people, like I said, are posting fake videos from other countries, either from other countries or from different times, as proof. Like the Venezuelan people are celebrating because they've wanted this for so long. Don't fall for these psyops. Do you remember when they toppled the statue of what's his name in Iraq?
Hussein.
Of
Saddam?
Hussein. What was it? Saddam or
Saddam.
Yes, it was
Saddam.
Yes, Saddam.
No.
Yes.
And it was all the people were out in the streets cheering and cheering. And was that actually true or not? I mean, it ended up where did we end up there in a decades-long conflict that
So,
was? And remember, it
Okay,
was
the really
solved then.
important part there is whether or not there are boots on the ground. If there's no boots on the ground, then he's kept his promise.
Yeah.
They're still
No,
blockaded.
look, no. The goal was to destroy Iraq, right? That's why there was no military planning for like afterwards and stuff like that. It was Israel's project to destroy Iraq.
Yeah.
The US do not want to destroy Venezuela. On the contrary, what they want to do is develop it. And by the way, your original tweet about the oil, that's very over optimistic. Venezuela has a lot of very, very rugged country. A lot of their oil is basically the same as like tar sands, so it's going to require like
it's
a
extremely
lot of
crude.
effort.
It requires a lot of refining.
to get
You
it
got to
out.
understand something about our previous relationship with Venezuela is that when we had contracts to, one, pull the oil out of the ground with U.S. companies and then refine it, it didn't just get refined there. They don't have the capacity for that.
It has to be
Gulf.
refined here. Well, because the U.S. is one of the only countries that does have the capacity to refine oil that's that crude. Not many other countries could take advantage of that. So
it means
that is
if we
true.
restore that country to not being a basket case, by basically just getting everybody on board and saying, hey, we just do this, the country will return to being functional. Everyone will have food in their bellies. It'll be stable. You can contribute to the stability of this region. We'll refine the oil. Everybody gets money. It's really simple.
Of course, I know that we said this to be short, but unfortunately, I've made it quite long. The other thing to consider here is
remember my adage.
How many
in the wind.
Venezuelan refugees, and by that let's put Venezuelan in big quotation marks there. When Democrats come into power, which they will after Trump, I think that's inevitable. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that, well, maybe I don't. I think it's just inevitable. Not because I root for the Democrats, just because I'm very annoyed.
Make your point.
All right, how many quote unquote Venezuelan refugees is the U.S. going to be pressured into taking because of this in 4 years?
Save that.
Oh,
for
I know. All right, I'm sorry. I'm being blackmailed.
No one can
That's the
That's
Green
it.
Dragon topic. So save.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I didn't know. My bad.
I know you didn't know. That's why I'm telling you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
I have one last thing I want to say about this particular topic. God bless the U.S. military for blowing the shit out of Chavez's grave.
Yeah.
Wait, did that actually happen?
Yes.
It did.
But Chavez was famously an anti-Semite, according to some, and unquestionably anti-Israel.
I don't care if they get style points.
Oh my God, who cares?
He was not a fan of the homos either, if you didn't know.
Good.
But anyway, let's move on. That was fun, but let's move back to the topics. The topic that Aydin just breached is actually the Green Dragon political posturing. Would you guys just like to segue into that one?
It seems natural. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
let's go for it.
All right. Then let's go ahead and move over there, and we will let Aydin also be the first one to answer this one since she was about to talk about it. So let's go ahead to go to the green dragon. Okay, which is... Oh, I accidentally resized the window. Give me a second. There we go. Here we go. Venezuela under TPS can apply for refugee status. Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, said Sunday that the Venezuelans in the U.S. who were previously under temporary protective status can apply for asylum. Every individual that was under TPS has the opportunity now to apply for refugee status, and that evaluation will go forward, Noem told host Turner on Fox News Sunday. Noem ended TPS early this year for the roughly 600,000 Venezuelan migrants who received protected status from DHS under the Biden admin. After the U.S. captured Venezuelan President Maduro and his wife, early Saturday morning, Venezuelan migrants in South Florida took to the streets to celebrate. The long-term future for their country, though, is unclear. President Trump told reporters Saturday that the U.S. will run Venezuela until such a time that they can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition, adding that American oil companies will fix South American nation's petroleum infrastructure. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. Meanwhile, Maduro's vice president, Delcy, said Saturday in a televised address to Venezuelans, there is only one president in Venezuela, and his name is Maduro. Trump, who said Saturday that Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with Rodriguez after the U.S. took Maduro into custody, told Atlantic's Michael Sherrer on Sunday that if the vice president doesn't do what's right, he will pay a very big price, much bigger than Maduro. Rubio then told Welker on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday that the U.S. must first address the flow of drugs, gangs, and sanctioned oil from Venezuela before entrusting the country to new leadership. We don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years, Trump noted on Saturday. So let's move to the Green Dragon and Aydin. The Green with us tonight is a proud patriarch of a large clan and spends much of his time training younger dragons in what they'll need to know when they're older. Not just knowledge about magic, but also what it's like to rule over lesser creatures responsibly. He chose this story tonight because he is curious why an admin who preaches caring about America and its people, who ran on a platform of limiting immigration and removing immigrants, would do some of the things that it's done. So the question is thus: why do you think the Trump admin made this announcement? Is it just political necessity due to the recent Maduro op, or perhaps something more sinister? Now, Aydin, please continue as you were, my dear.
Look, there have been deportations, of course, but they have not been anywhere near the number of deportations that I think anybody is happy with or pleased with, nor what would be necessary to prevent, reverse, or even reaching, by the way, net zero migration in the UK, which it allegedly has reached. Net zero doesn't actually mean what you need is negative migration. And this providing this sanctuary towards these Venezuelans, allowing them to apply to live in the United States, they're not going to leave, nor are the Venezuelans who are already in the country, many of whom illegally, going to leave. Because why would they? What's the incentive? Go back and try to piece back together your country? That's now maybe a U.S. Puppet, or not. It doesn't really matter. They're already in the United States, and now they've just been offered more amnesty in the United States. These people don't go back. It is a shocking thing to also happen in the midst of the massive Somali scandal in Minnesota, and which is happening all across the country by different ethnic groups. No, these people stay here. They take advantage of, for example, like why are Indians amongst the most prosperous of immigrants? It's not because they are better at anything in particular except scamming.
That's actually part of the Black Dragon. So you're getting all the dragons.
God damn it.
Sorry.
But no, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm,
no, go ahead.
I'm very politically activated because I've been shocked. I've been shocked by the response to this I've seen on Twitter from quote unquote right wingers and conservatives to not understand to be so incredibly short-sighted on why this happened and what the outcomes of this will be. At first, by the way, when this was announced, that Kristi Noem, it was disputed that she even said it. But here it is. It has been confirmed that, look, you're going to take in Venezuelan refugees. And and if you think you're taking in a lot of Venezuelan refugees now, when the Democrats get into power, it's going to be carte blanche. So the demographic replacement is absolutely facilitated by this action.
Mm-hmm.
So something more sinister. It's as sinister as you believe the stated goal of replacement migration is, which I find to be extremely sinister. For all the deportations that have happened, which are less than again I would like, now you just invited in millions more Venezuelans.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, this is interesting. It would indicate, more God's law, basically, right? Like the outcome of every single foreign policy decision is more Browns moving to the West. On the other hand, if they want to develop Venezuela, like they are going to need, maybe they're thinking they can lure people back. Yeah, this is very, very weird by the Trump administration, and I cannot help but think sinister motives, right?
Right.
Because when it first happened originally, they were like, oh yeah, we can send 6 million Venezuelans back now because it's a safe country. But it might also be it hasn't been designated a safe country yet. I mean, it only happened yesterday or the day before.
It only happened Saturday. Yeah.
So maybe, in a month or something like that, they'll revoke TPS status and just start sending them back. I don't know.
All right. Well, who else wants to take this one? 3, do you have anything?
Yeah.
On this one?
Well, my main question would be, what is the stated purpose of this policy? I mean, there's not much to go on other than to speculate, and I don't like speculating because I have found often that there are declarations made by members of this cabinet and then nothing happens. They either don't do the thing or they do the exact opposite of the thing because Trump walks in and is like, wait a second, no, I'm correcting this. It's just been too unpredictable. What is that?
3, you okay?
Oh.
3?
Oh crap! It was the FBI.
Mossad got him. Uh-oh.
I got him. Yeah.
No, it's just a phone is going rogue.
That's okay.
Wow.
But go on, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to know more. I feel like I need to know more because this has been too unpredictable so far. I mean, there have been instances like this happening already where a member of the cabinet does something that we obviously don't want, claims that that's going to happen that we don't want, and then it doesn't happen. We don't ever hear about it ever again. And then we end up getting counter signals from Trump saying the exact opposite thing. Frankly, at this point, I'm just like, dude, let some of this just happen. Let some of this just happen. If you see almost every time we have a bad week with Trump, something crazy happens, he turns it around, whatever. I'm not saying that I'm writing his dick or anything, but I'd say give it some time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes, but I do think that on the surface, part of it is always, hey, we're doing a military thing, so we have to kind of act like we're playing nice. That's just basic politics. Because, we're concerned for the people. It's not the people we want to suffer. We just want to get the bad guy. We all have heard this a million times. We know how it goes. But I also think about, Trump greenlighting 500,000 or however many it was, Chinese exchange students through the exchange program.
Yeah.
I think about how he's granted pardon to a lot of shady people. He's, I don't know why the admin does the things it does. It sends mixed signals to me, someone who is, kook sphere adjacent and who wants to keep tabs on what the politicians are doing and what the power players are up to. The Trump admin sends mixed signals a lot, and it's difficult to know what the hell he's doing, if he even knows what the hell he's doing.
Yes,
So that's why I wanted to ask the questions tonight to see what you guys think.
My suspicion is that he is using things as tools as he does. They're most likely not permanent. They're most likely a temporary situation. There's a lot of things that he's turned around and stopped after he started. I don't know. I'd say wait on it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So anything else on this topic, or should this be a short one and us move on? Anybody else have anything?
I will give the darkest timeline answer to this if you'd like.
Sure.
I think it is a Zionist plot to further white erase America by importing diversity.
I mean, that's like Big O said in chat, and like Newsfist said about Morgoth's Law. That does seem to be what's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen it here in Canada. The more refugees you bring in, the more likely they are to vote for whoever brought them in, regardless of their personal politics.
Well, I mean, the net numbers are that we've lost, 2.5 million, and that's most of them on incentives, not because of the actions of ICE.
Yes.
So I'd hardly pretend that, oh my God, he's bringing in Guerrillan immigrants. Oh my God, he's just doing the exact opposite of getting rid of them. Come on. That might be a hand. I mean, how many refugees are we talking about? Because we also had the South African refugee situation.
Well,
that ended up being
the problem with the problem from Venezuela is that it is very easy for anyone from South America who speaks Spanish to say they're Venezuelan.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been a big problem with human trafficking and the really evil cartel gangs. Is it's so easy for them to scam the system to get in and out and to access things.
Yes.
And this is why I really don't like how all of this works. And I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. Like I don't like this horrible, complicated, revolving door immigrant refugee mystery status. And like the system is overburdened. There's too many people. There's not enough dedicated people. There's not enough qualified people to handle this much. Like the problem with the things that we are facing now is things are not infinitely scalable. And and people who are criminals or desperate, they always look for cracks to exploit in a system. And that's just how it is. So
also, another thing occurred to me that last year he set a limit for the number of people who can immigrate down to just a few thousand, and that he filled 2025 with the South African refugees. This could easily just fill those thousands, and that could be the end of it.
Well, we'll see. We will see. So we didn't have any paid chats anywhere that I saw pop up yet. So let's go ahead and move on back to the dragons just to save some time here. That was the green with political posturing. And that leaves do not redeem SAR and white date erased. White date, white erased. Let's see. Newsfist, you're the party leader. What would you like to do next? We have two dragons left, the white and the black.
In the private chat, he said I would go next, and he's still in the middle of something.
Okay, good. Okay, he had to AFK to take care of something. So,
I'm
Party, do you want?
Let's SAR do not redeem SAR.
Do not redeem SAR. Very good. All right, this is the black dragon.
I suspect that's Canada.
Let's see here. Not that one. I think it's this one. Yeah, here we go. We will start. You don't have to actually hear this. So we will just look at it without audio because they're speaking Indian language that I don't understand. So there it is. Just take a quick look at this. This is busting a massive fake credential production outfit. Hundreds of thousands of fake documents of certification for professional skills, degrees in medicine and law, things like that. They busted. So I just wanted you guys to see that before we move on. So let's go to the article. Kerala police bust major fake degree racket. Kerala police uncovered a massive academic fraud operation, arresting 11 individuals and seizing more than 100,000 counterfeit university degrees linked to 22 different institutions. The educational boards of Punjab have officially announced that the annual intermediate examinations programs will commence in May. So, of course, the fake credential people have been in overdrive. Why? Where did the rest of the story go? There was more to this. Oh, there it is. Why did it back me up? That's weird. I don't know why it backed me up a page. Anyway, according to investigators, the fake degrees covered sensitive and high-risk professions, including medicine, nursing, and engineering. Authorities confirmed that many of these forged documents were used to unlawfully secure jobs in both public and private sectors, raising serious concerns about public safety and professional integrity. Police officers warned that the seized certificates represent only a fraction of the operation's reach. Preliminary estimates suggest that more than 1 million fake degrees could already be in circulation for the upcoming graduation cycle. The investigation revealed that the syndicate charged between, I don't know, foreign money, per forged certificate, generating substantial illegal profits. Law enforcement agencies believe the racket operated through a wide network of intermediaries targeting individuals seeking quick employment and career advancement. The police stated that the probe is ongoing and will be expanded to identify additional suspects, financial links, and end users of forged degrees. Authorities have pledged strict action against all those involved, emphasizing the crackdown aims to restore trust in academic and professional credentialing systems in India. Well, good luck with that. So, the Black Dragon is this shady-looking character. The Black with us tonight is one of many Blacks of the Great Dragon Empire who works in intelligence and protects the complexities of draconic society from the shadows. He enjoys this show and hopes that one day Earth will be part of the Empire. He chose the story tonight to ask us this, and it comes to Ardent Party first. What could effectively counter the plague of fake credentials flooding the West, especially in IT and academia?
Oh, that's easy to answer. Stop taking them from elsewhere. Simple as that.
Mass deportations, then
Yeah.
don't allow them back in. That's
Yeah,
you know, it's funny how that's the answer to so many problems we have these days,
isn't it? I mean, all we have to do is remigrate a few million people. I'm speaking about my country in particular, but all we have to do is remigrate a few million people, and bam, things start to improve immediately. It's crazy. It's almost like taking the president of Venezuela will somehow improve the U.S. economy. No, but I mean, here in Canada, we've got a bigger problem than just people coming in with things that are faked credentials from over there. One of the problems we have is that once those faked credentials get here, they then either ideally, and this would be the sensible position, so I don't know why I'm even suggesting it, but ideally they would go then to a legitimate school, and I'll use trucking as the example because it's the most glaring one for both our countries. But ideally, they would then go to an actual trucking school, get legitimately certified, and then start a business educating other people. The problem is, even if they did it legitimately that way to get that certification to open the business, they're then turning around and doing the scam artist thing of, oh no, this program is supposed to take 3 months. We can get you through it in 2 weeks because, well, we'll just pretend.
Yeah.
And this is part of the reason why we have people attempting to make U-turns in the middle of busy freeways, or here in Canada. Actually, today on my show, I just showed one of the Tim Horton's drivers had left his lift, the lift gate at the back of a tractor trailer, had left that down with a pallet jack, a powered pallet jack, and a stack of pallets on it, and was driving up probably one of the busier highways in Canada. And someone had filmed it as he was driving by. And that kind of incompetence, well, it's not even incompetence. It's simply, I don't care. And we need to have, there's clearly no other solution other than remigrating these people, because you can't educate them to behave with honor. If you could,
Right.
The British Empire would have done it. And I've said that many times. Civilization simply is not communicable.
Agreed. So I agree with your assessment. Anyone else want to take this one? Anything? Any ideas you have about it? Anything?
Yeah. This is a difficult problem. I mean, you could, stop accepting overseas credentials, but you're still going to get like fraud. You could try digital ID, but the real problem is that the people that are going to be controlling these systems on the ground are going to let, browns and fakes in. What you really need basically is a racist white government. Like sort of on all levels. No, I'm serious, because as as there is the ability to get people removed from government or corporate posts by calling them racist, you're going to have infiltration from these groups who will then take over things like licensing boards, DMV, all this kind of. So this is increasingly a problem, like in the UK as well. The government could, tomorrow say, oh, that's it. We're ending racism against whites, but no one's going to enforce it. Like, because the whole of government has basically been subverted and co-opted. But you could do stuff like bring in very, very heavy penalties for faking certificates. You could
and put like a 95% tax on all remittances, that kind of thing.
yeah, well, exactly.
Oh God, please.
The problem with that is what counts as a remittance, because
All of it.
If you start, this is the reason why they don't tax remittance, because technically all foreign currency flows are sort of remittances. I mean, you could easily just tax like all money being sent back to like Pakistan or Sudan or whatever, right?
I'm not saying all remittances to everywhere. I'm saying you target it. That's a way, because remember, law is how power gets what it wants. And you say, okay, all remittances to India, Mexico, whatever, is 90%.
But then all that will happen is that people will set up money transition businesses in a third country to like send the money back. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would have to do something like, if you are from a certain background, we're going to tax your remittances, right? Like at source.
See, now you're speaking my language. Racial politics. That's what we need. I agree with you. I would never call myself or the people I support racist. That's an anti-white word. But I take your meaning from earlier. We need also a white identity, pro-white, cares about us, government power that will actually do what is necessary.
And they need like exams, like testing. The problem that we're having in the UK, of course, is that you set up like a testing center. It's staffed by nons who steal the questions, and then you get a thing where, you just get people like paying to get someone else to take the test. So you would need like digital ID, you need facial recognition, you need all of this like crap to solve the problem that wouldn't have been a problem in the first place if you hadn't fucking just let all these people in the first place. But no.
All right, who's next? Aydin, I would love to hear what you have to say about credentialism in academia and how this intersects.
I mean, well, I would agree, actually. You probably just shouldn't... you need to discount certain countries. The way that's the best way to do it is just say that, like, look, degrees that are coming out of India there's too much of a potentiality for them to be faked, or for them to be complete nonsense, to just not accept them as credentialized. And maybe if
because credentials are like credit rating. If it's too much of a gamble, you shouldn't accept anything from that block or that area.
I mean, it's the same thing that intersects with the H-1B issue, which is that these different tech companies they import Infinity Indians based on stated reports. Look, they've got degrees. Well, they don't actually know anything about what they're doing. So when they come to the United States or wherever, to Canada, UK, wherever, Australia, they end up having to be retrained anyway, or trained for the first time, because they have no experience whatsoever, besides maybe scamming people. But they don't actually have any of the experience. So they get, brought over to do a job that they're not capable of doing, or they get placed into truck driver positions and crash on the road. The reality is that some countries, specifically India, just for logical reasons, need to be they need to be placed under higher scrutiny. A degree from Oxford is not worth the same as a degree from the University of New Delhi or whatever. That's just obvious and should be treated as such.
I have to go even further than that. Just consider their credentials completely void. They don't meet our standards, clearly.
So in other words, do not redeem.
Yes.
Yeah, do not redeem. It doesn't have to be based on anything silly like racism or anything. It's just they clearly don't meet our credentials. That's fine. You just say no. In fact, why are you giving them CDLs for our jobs in the first place? The function of immigration and H-1B programs is that a tiny handful of people with very special talents the world over, those are the only people that get in here. Like, you occasionally have like, maybe you have some defecting Taiwanese chip engineers. Yeah, that's the special case that gets immigration status. Oh, you have like an esports team that's coming here for a competition? Yes, you can come in for now.
But then you leave and you all go.
Yes, exactly. You get a work visa, and that's fine. But it's like that allows for thousands of people to come in.
And I mean, stuck and clog up everything.
Yeah, exactly. The system doesn't make any fucking sense. There should be no conversation about where does it start and end with Indian CDL truckers. The answer is zero. Why there's no need for an Indian to drive any truck in this country. It's ridiculous. They should be recruiting Americans. Why the hell would a single penny be allowed to leave this country for a job like that? There's no need to make that negotiation.
Yeah, agreed.
It's fucking stupid. The fact I even have to say that it makes me fucking angry.
So apart from the usual solution of we need to stop immigration and get rid of most of the ones that are here, that's the obvious answer to most of these societal problems. But specifically when it comes to credentials, whether it's academic credentials or professional trade knowledge, I think that we absolutely should use like a credit rating system or whatever to just void entire ethnic blocks or countries entirely. Just being like, okay, we're not accepting any more of these doctors or lawyers or truck drivers or whatever the hell. It's just, okay, no more. We're just, it's done. You've blown, like you have no respect and we don't need you. I
have a very succinct answer to that. You literally just interview them for this. Just like how customs already kind of works. Like,
yeah, but that's the problem.
What are you here
it's nepotism.
For?
So many Indians are already wedged into positions where they
Yeah.
just hire other Indians no matter what.
If they can't make the case that they're a goddamn special celebrity the world over, then no, it's an immediate no. They're just a random Indian. That's a no. And it's not just on. Again, it's not just racism. It's just there's no reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board for Yeet the Jeep. Like, you're on the right channel for that.
It's not just Indians. It's literally almost everyone. You come in here, you can come in as a tourist. If you're intending to get a work visa, you better have preparations beforehand. Like that I should be able to call the CEO of that company and confirm that this superstar is coming to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then I don't care who they are. They're not coming in. It should be literally like a tiny, tiny handful of people and no one else.
Oh, this is interesting. Big O's says this in chat, which I find interesting. He says, if the USA had the same obsessive, strict licensing as the UK, you would be okay. No problem with Jeep lorry drivers here. Still a 95% white job in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, I do think that
do that. Yeah.
I do think that there has to be standards, and that is a massive problem in the United States. Is a general lowering of standards across the board for everything the last 30 years. It has been miserable. Like it's one of the main reasons we have a competency crisis. Is idiots and morons and diversity hires and foreigners. We've lowered the bar with all of these programs to the point to where any IQ 75 moron can get a piece of paper that says he can have an important job. And like America really suffers for that. We have to undo all that.
It's one of the funny things about the computer programming thing. Like I was doing that course last year, and a lot of guys in the course pointed out to me that they were only doing the course to get the credential, even though they were already working, because either with Python or one of the other programs or languages, they already had competence. But even though the company hired them, they said to them, well, we'd really like you to have this piece of paper. So really, you don't need the piece of paper so much anymore in that particular field if you can prove you can do the job.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of credentialism in general, but I do understand that it is sort of a necessity in certain fields.
Yeah, well, I mean, my father hated credentialism because all he would say to me over and over, he said, look, you see that guy? I don't have the piece of paper he's got. My dad dropped out of school, and I think it was grade 8 was the highest he got. But my father could do anything on a boat, regardless of the piece of paper. But somebody with the college paper could come onto the boat and essentially be put in charge of my father, even though they were a complete incompetent who'd never stepped foot on a boat before, other than to get this course.
Yeah, many such cases in a lot of fields. Like several people in my family were required under contract to train their foreign replacements before they were let go. It's bullshit.
Yeah, that pissed me off so much.
It's really painful. Like people don't realize how much harm is being actively done to white people with all these policies and corporate and government policies. I mean, both of them. It's a big problem. It's a demoralizing problem. Like you demoralize the men that are supposed to be the leaders of your people when you do that. It's miserable. I hate it. But anyway. Anything else on this topic before we move on? Because we still have one more to get to.
That is a sexy dragon. That's it.
Yeah, that's a cool dragon. I really like it. He's sleek and cool looking. And this is a good one to use for male and female dragons. I use this picture for both male and female sometimes. It's just a cool, sleek, good-looking dragon. All right. We did, however, have a very nice entropy over on Entropy from Paulie B. Good to see you here, brother. Happy New Year to you too. His entropy for $25, thank you, says, Happy New Year, Yiz, Newsfist, and others. My near-term solution for all of our problems, GOP Delinda S. This is my headspace 2026 and beyond, GOP Delinda S. Just turned 40 last year, and my patience with fake and gay has expired. Amen, brother. Amen. We have to get all the anti-whites out. Doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat, short, fat, white, black, doesn't matter. We have to make sure that the people that we support care about our well-being and our future. If not, they have no place at my table. And in fact, they can get out of the country too. So absolutely agree. All right. We have one more dragon. And that is the white dragon with white date, white erased. Many of you might have already heard this if you follow pro-white news. Let's see. Mr. Newsfist, you are the party leader, sir.
Has everyone already had to go?
Yes.
Oh, well, then I'll take this one then. Why not?
Okay. Give me just a moment. Wait a minute. Why is this? My website's being... Okay, here we go. This is what I get for not using an archived link. It does funny things. Anyway, to the news. White Leaks exposes extremist dating networks after major data exfiltration. I apologize in advance. I could not find an article to read about this today that wasn't full of anti-white lies and anti-white terminology. So I apologize. I could find plenty of our guys talking about it and some videos about it, but I could not find an easy to put on screen and read article about this that wasn't just full of anti-white crap. Anyway, an investigative journalist, i.e. communist activist, operating under the pseudonym Martha Root, who is definitely an anti-white communist, has exfiltrated more than 1,000 gigs of data and 8,000 user profiles from multiple pro-white online platforms, exposing severe security failures and extensive personal data leakage. The data set dubbed White Leaks has been made available to journalists and researchers via distributed denial of secrets. This incident highlights how poor cybersecurity practices combined with basic automation and scraping techniques can lead to large-scale exposure of quote-unquote extremist communities operating online. And this means us. This anti-white communist basically did a live tutorial on how to sabotage white people who care about each other. And so I hope she burns in hell, piece of shit. Extremist groups increasingly rely on mainstream web technologies to organize, recruit, and socialize, so says this person. And by the way, this was the least anti-white biased article I could find on this today.
I'm not surprised.
This is the least biased one I could find, and it's still just full of anti-white terminology. Anyway, dating and networking platforms, in particular, offer ideological communities a veneer of normalcy while facilitating relationship building and coordination. These sites often operate outside regulatory scrutiny and are frequently maintained by small operators with limited security expertise. As a result, they can become prime targets for investigative research. This means anti-white attack. This means anti-white digital terrorism. That's what this means. So what happened? Root infiltrated White Date, a pro-white dating platform, along with two related sites, White Child and White Deal. All three platforms were operated by a pro-white person based in Germany and were allegedly managed through a Paris-based company, Horn & Partners. The sites catered to users promoting pro-white ideas, framing themselves as a space for dating, family building, and professional networking. After months of observation and data collection, Root exfiltrated the full user databases. The exposed information has since been mapped and partially visualized through a separate website, revealing users distributed across multiple countries. And then the technical breakdown just goes through how she did it. In fact, it seemingly the white date and the connected things did have kind of poor security, but I mean, when it's ran by a handful of people, you take what you can get, and it's hard enough to have anything just for white people these days. So I do sympathize. We're not all Andrew Torba who can make and afford Gab and make it as good as it is, and even it's not perfect. It's had its problems too. So anyway, let's move now to the white dragon, which is this mother here. The white with us tonight is a mother and trainer to many worms, mostly not even her own. As a trainer of rare magical arts few dragons can teach. As such, she's provided a great luxury of wealth and independence within dragon culture. She enjoys our stream and is glad to be here tonight, and she chose this topic on racial issues since racial issues have become paramount in our culture. Given how low the anti-whites will go to hurt whites and sabotage Western society, her question tonight is this, Newsfist. How should whites today prepare and protect themselves from the rampant anti-white sabotage that exists, especially in regards to online services and socializing?
You need OPSEC. You need proper OPSEC.
Yep. It's a big part of it.
I mean,
that was actually my prepared thing to talk about, but go on.
I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, if you're going to some small, explicitly pro-white dating site and you're putting like real information, right? Like your, real address and name and credit card details and shit, and like uploading like real photos. Then this is what you can probably expect. If you got to use this kind of like dating stuff, right? Make sure you've got an obscured photo, and if someone contacts you, immediately take that conversation to a more secure platform like Telegram or something like that, right? I haven't looked at the leak, but if there's like real like names and addresses and stuff in there, then that's just very bad OPSEC. The entire thing could be a honey trap for all we know. Like, honestly, I think that the main effect is to just, once again, just try and demoralize people. I mean, quite apart from just the entire thing of like whether it is in any way, any sense morally right to, attack whites for wanting to date other whites. But of course, the commies that do this would be like, oh, no, it's fine for like whites to date other whites. Oh, thank you so much, right? We just want to target like racists who only want to date other whites, because obviously everyone knows, like, you have to want to be diverse. You can't see any differences between people, right? And
but only for white people. Only for white people.
And you're absolutely not allowed to want to find like a fellow racist to have like a child with or anything like that. The other thing I would say is that in terms of like dating and stuff, you're probably better off in some ways using larger platforms, because there's more sort of obscurity in numbers. This is what, a lot of the sort of, like code words, the subculture and all that kind of like other stuff is about, so you can identify people in the wild. Yeah, I don't know. I guess don't use very small, dodgy dating sites, and like I said, if you do not put any real information on there, and if you get contacted, immediately move to a more secure platform to chat with the person.
Okay, well, let's hear from someone else. Thank you, Newsfist.
I mean, I largely agree with that. Like, it is an OPSEC issue. If you see a website like this, I don't know how at this point in 2026 you don't recognize that if you see white dating app or something that it sells itself akin to that, is not going to end up being a honeypot. Even if it's not at the outset, it will become one.
Okay, I have a question, because I'm not a dating site user. I've always
never used one.
Shit.
Yeah.
I made a profile once just because my friend was, and I did it. But anyway, I didn't actually use it or meet anybody. When I looked at the one dating app or site, because this was before apps back in the aughts, it was like OkCupid or Plenty of Fish or something, one of the normie ones back then 20 years ago. But you could put in your profile what you were looking for. Does it not work that way anymore? Can you not just say, I'm interested in a white lady who is this and from this area, and like, why can't you use regular dating apps for for white purposes. Like I don't understand how it works now.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. Do you get banned if you say something like that and you're white?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Because I have no experience with them.
I don't know. I lied. I did use a dating site once. I used a Nani Date, which was a 4chan dating app because they had a friends option.
Cool.
They had a friends option, and I just wanted. I was home from
that's so
college for the
cool.
semester, and that guy to this day, he's my accountant.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
And he's married and's got like.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Well, then if either of you that have experience with dating sites, are you not allowed to just say what you're looking for on there? Like if you just want to date white people of a certain language group or whatever, like why can't you use? Why do you need a white only dating app? Like, is there any need for it?
The big ones that you see ads for right on the App Store, those don't let you those don't let you set preference. You just get matches.
Yeah,
you can't set preference. Then how does it connect anybody?
By
proximity?
swiping.
Proximity, basically.
Proximity and based on who you swipe for.
Yeah.
It's that useless.
Yeah. The last time I was on a dating site was just before I ended up with my last, with my ex-fiance. And I believe then it still had, I think it was Plenty of Fish. And I believe then it still had the option to check like essentially what ethnicity you were okay with, not really so much race. So I think you could basically select one and then block the rest, but I don't really remember for sure.
Okay. Well, regardless, we can move back to the topic. I was just curious because since it came up, I don't know, and I just assumed that if it's a dating site or a dating app, you got to build the parameters, because if you don't, how would it connect you with people? Like if it's just swiping, like what are the apps you swipe on? I don't even know. Like what do you swipe?
Oh, you're thinking stuff like Bumble, stuff like that.
Hinge.
I don't know. Like I said,
but that's the thing. You don't want to use them.
Sex or dating, so I don't know. But
you don't want to bother with any of them, because when they do like pair you with someone and you try to talk to them, most of them have a limit on how many messages you can send before you have to pay money. And then they will
absolutely crazy.
And it's clear that they're either not real people, or they are just so normie that they're just interested in actually doing anything. And then there's the one that, even if it's real, there's always the chance that gets spooked and just runs off. So it was a waste of time.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that quite a few of these sites appear to be designed or algorithmically engineered, I suppose would be the more accurate term, to find you someone you're interested in, but not for long term. So that then there's a certain amount of churn on the app as well.
I see.
Yeah. Now there's the old internet dating sites, the ones, like Christian Mingle, and then there was, even before those things got big on TV. Obviously this existed before ads were a thing. So there's actually a bajillion sites out there that are down to very specific things. There's a libertarian dating site. There's a Christian dating site. There's a black dating site.
Let's move back to the topic and hear from you three.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Well, you're a tech guy. Like, I know what Newsfist said was really smart. Like, do you have anything to add to that in regards to how white people should comport themselves when using stuff, not just dating apps, but just anything in general?
Can you repeat that briefly? Can you
Yeah, like, do you have anything to add? Like, about how whites should comport themselves, or what tactics they should use when engaging in the digital world?
Just best practice security. Don't give them real information until you have a lot of experience with them. Don't rush. Don't give them money. Don't.
The money.
It's very hard to commit, because if you are even slightly vigilant of a person, you will see all sorts of reasons for someone to screw with you. And if it becomes obvious over a period that it's not just a bot and you're talking and you're connecting, and then you can start to open up, obviously. But if you want to meet them, choose a neutral place that would be neither of your addresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are people I've known for years, obviously, that I would trust to help me out of a bad situation and tell them exactly where I am, and they'd call the cops or whatever. But those people are a small group, and you should gatekeep the people in your life pretty heavily.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Newsfist did a great job when it comes to the digital domain about talking about OPSEC and things like that. That's fine. I mean, maybe it's because I'm old school, but I would and I hate the idea of going to the club to try to meet somebody, but go to an event,
Church is good.
Baseball game.
That
Yep,
my
baseball game.
accountant, the guy who I met on a Nani date through the friends thing, that's how he met his wife, was through church.
Yep.
You know,
and also when I say church, I don't just mean Sunday service. I mean churches do a lot.
Yeah,
churches have
activities.
picnics and barbecues, and they have events and food drives and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you get involved with local church groups, you can oftentimes meet pretty good quality people. Because, the chances of the woman that you're looking into being a blue-haired shit-lib commie lunatic is probably lower if, she's donating her time to a Catholic food drive or something.
Yeah, unless it's the Anglican Church, in which case you never know.
Well, I said lower, not impossible.
Yeah, I hear you. No, but what I was going to say was, the meet in real life, try to do things in real life where you can. And I'll amplify something else that 3 said. If you get a momentary, just a flash of that red flag moment, just stop. You do not want to go any further. If you can't trust your own intuition, talk to somebody you do. But if you trust your intuition and your intuition for a moment says someone digitally connected to you, or not necessarily connected to you, but someone that you're digitally interacting with might not be right for you, they're not, get the hell out of the situation, use your energy elsewhere.
Okay, fair. Well, the only thing I was going to add is basically what you guys said on the OPSEC thing. Like, you can be pro-white and care about white people without painting yourself with an easy target for these anti-white communist pieces of shit that try to do terrorism against you. Like, don't call yourself a Nazi. Don't call yourself a big old racist. Like, it's pretty easy to fly under the radar. Like, obviously, these ideologically driven people are going to want to kill you or erase you or make you, bankrupt if you care about white people at all, because they hate all of us. But, OPSEC is a good idea. Like, this is one of the reasons why I love the Go Free method, and it's changed my thinking and speaking on stuff. It really does insulate you from a lot of surface level anti-white attack. So that would be my advice, is just, if you have public profiles, if you have a Facebook, if you have, you have to make a profile for your, I don't know, whatever it is people do in the digital workspace. I don't work a corporate job, so I have no idea. But, like, don't put easy targets on yourself, and don't use language that triggers the anti-white landmines in other people's heads. That's a good way to seem like a good person who also cares about the well-being of white people. So that's my advice on that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Be careful of what language you're using. You don't need to identify yourself by any term until you have at least some perception that this person is trustworthy. And I would flip that. If they come out and they immediately start calling themselves Nazi, racist, etc., they could be phishing you.
Yeah, they could be phishing. It could be a Fed or an anti-white investigator type of thing.
And
so
hey,
that's all I had to say on this one. All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say on this one. Do any of you guys? Because if not, we can go to treasure.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Treasure time it is. What'd you say? I missed that. What?
Oh, violence in chat. She says we must go play fish with the feds.
All right. I'm going to start with a little white pill. Let me get this loaded up here, and we'll have a look. All right, here we go. I will embiggen. There we go. It is embiggened.
Migrantów. Tak, jest Polską bez nielegalnych migrantów. Jest Polską, w której zamiast ośrodków integracji są ośrodki deportacji dla tych, którzy chcą zniszczyć nasze bezpieczeństwo.
There we go. That was a political rally by somebody in Poland who
Based.
Yeah, who was being
Yeah.
very based, to standing ovation and cheering and chanting from the crowd. So I want to see more of that everywhere. Auslander Rouse. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah, here.
I have some fun memes for you guys tonight. Spoiler, they are all about Maduro and Trump. Every single meme.
I mean, yeah,
Starting with this one, because there have been some great memes on this.
there have.
And I love this one. We'll start with this one. Most people have seen this one. I started with an easy one.
This is good.
And then next we have the myth of consensual intervention. Look at this one. And then next we have, I'm Maduro. I got ripped out of my bed with my wife in our underwear at 1 a.m. and extradited to America.
Oh,
My smile is I'm telling a liberal we didn't invade Venezuela. We were undocumented
Oh,
visitors.
gorgeous.
Nice.
Next, we have, of course, the obligatory Skyrim.
Right?
oh,
Yes.
you're finally awake.
Oh, man.
Oye, tú, finalmente
And then, of
estás-
course, Maduro's hiding spot.
Yeah, I
So
saw
that was
this.
I hope this meme never dies. It's one of my favorite meme frameworks. I
Mine
really love this
too.
one.
I do love
I
that
love
one.
this one. It's probably because you and I sort of came of noticing it around the same time in the aughts
Yeah.
on 4chan. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Maduro. Maybe you didn't quite understand what the emperor meant when he said the drug trafficking will stop. I love this. The U.S. military kidnaps Maduro. Maduro is in the U.S. illegally. ICE kidnaps Maduro and deports him to Venezuela. Maduro is then in Venezuela. The cycle continues.
Maduro cycle. Yeah.
Next up, I love this one. I love this. Here's a memory TV one. How did the
Oh,
U.S.
God.
acquire me and my wife? Through jihad.
Every time.
Jihad.
Oh, you gotta love it. Memory TV is such lols. And then, of course, we have the elites don't want you to know this, but the El Presidentes in the South Americas are free. You can take them home. I have one El Presidente. That's kind of what Newsfist was joking about at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
And then we have, I'm above the law. I remove government and steal their oil. If I don't steal it, someone else will.
What law?
Yeah.
Venezuelan oil was promised to
Monroe
Donald Trump
Doctrine.
3,000 years ago.
And then the last two of the night are my favorite ones, so I saved them till last. This is the good one. What we should have done.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, bro.
I'm sure
Indeed.
most of us in our circle saw this today.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, this is my favorite.
That is good. That one's good.
Oh yeah, I posted a AI video of that on Upstanding.
All right. Well, my lovelies, we have come to the end of the stream. I had a wonderful first stream with you guys in 2026. We will definitely do it again. And before we get out of here, I have one thing to say. In 2026, the continued sister stream to this one is still American Spirits over on Old Glory Club. I'll be heading over there. Let's go over there and show the bros at the Old Glory Club that we care. We can all pop over there, which is, of course, where I'll be headed like usual. Before we get out of here, anyone have anything to shill? Newsfist, I know you do.
Oh yeah. So I'm doing a history podcast now instead of Happening TV because doing the news all the time was messing with my head. So Mondays, 3 p.m. EST. I just did the disputation of Paris when the Talmud was put on trial in Paris in 1240, which is a crazy story. And of course, I'm on with Ardy. Ardy and Fist is on or Tuesday and Fridays now, basically. So twice a week. Check it out on Rhetorically Defective channel. You can find all of my links on newsfist.net. It's free. You know.
Try it now. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
Aydin, what
Real estate.
So, well, this is a bit saddening to report. But my views this last year were down 70%, and my income was down 90. I've been put in some kind of I've been put in some kind of algorithmic hell by YouTube, and it's not just me. I've spoken to at this point nearly 24 other creators who have had experienced almost the exact same, and one who had like legitimately the exact same drop off. But other people, when they're all within more or less margins of error, 70% decrease in viewers, 90% decrease in revenue. And it seems to be, well, a lot of it is that it's being an older channel really, really hurts you right now because of the way the algorithm coded by Jeets works. I actually don't think it's not political censorship. I actually don't even think that's it, because it's people who do all kinds of different content.
I don't think it's political either, because there's a guy I follow in Australia who covers plumbing and drain stuff, and he's been around for like 9 or 10 years, and his views went off a cliff maybe 6 or 8 months ago.
Yep,
and he only gets like a 50th of the views he used to.
Same. So I have a contract open with a sponsor. I have 2 more videos I have to put out on Aydin Paladin, and then after that I'm probably going to rebrand, because I just think at this point, I mean, I've got 150,000 subs or thereabouts. My last video got 10,000 views. I didn't have a single one that got. I had one, the Charlie Kirk one got like 50,000, but comparatively to last year, my videos got averages 80,000, 100,000, 150, 200.
Yeah, that was normally the views on your channel are over 50,000. Like that's 10,000 is remarkably
I had 2 videos this year that got under 20,000 views, and one of them was a 3-hour-long documentary. It didn't matter what the topic was. I made videos about all different kinds of things, besides the Charlie Kirk one, which still did below average for my channel. I couldn't break 50,000 and for anything, which, I mean, it was crazy, the amount of drop off. And it's for a lot of reasons with the stuff that, first of all, I think YouTube is more broke than usual.
Yeah.
But basically now they might turn things around in 2026, but I'm not betting on it. What I think it seems I'm going to have to do is rebrand, just because my channel being as old as it is, because the way it works is it sends out like a couple of people, notifications. And if they don't click on it because they don't use that account anymore, YouTube says, oh, well, no one is interested. I've had thousands of people at this point.
I think you're right about that. I've read about that. I think you're right. So go over to Aydin's channel, give her some love, give her some attention, help her get some clicks.
Yeah, there'll be 2 more videos that will come out on the Aydin Paladin channel, and then I'll be rebranding. I don't know. I already have like the domain parked, but I don't want to give it out yet until I decide what it is. Yeah.
Well, I of course would love it for you to whenever that goes live, come shill it on DD with us. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I will need the help, because initially it's going to be difficult to have to move to a totally new channel, but I don't see any other option.
Yeah.
All right, Ardent Party 312. Anything you guys want to shill?
I will.
Go ahead.
Go first, 3? No, okay. So I will absolutely shill my Ardent Plays channel over on Rumble. That's where I'm putting a lot of my energy at the moment. I'm trying to do a daily, essentially a response video show, and then I'm following that with about an hour of just chilling out playing Skyrim. So if you guys just want to come and hang out, that's usually about.
That makes me want Skyrim again, but I remember all the work it is to mod.
Oh yeah, and see, I play completely vanilla.
Oh,
never mind. I love playing completely vanilla. Now, I'm considering adding mods and doing something slightly different with the next character, because I'm getting very close to pretty much 100% completion. So
I think my last playthrough of Skyrim, I used 177 mods.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and I've never played with one. So
I play an extremely heavily modded game to where it's not even the same game.
Oh wow, okay. And see, this is a world that I haven't entered yet. But anyway, it's over on Ardent Plays over on Rumble. So what I do is I usually start about 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time, and I'll go probably about a half an hour with the response stuff, and I try to do the mix and match like I used to with the kind of dark stuff or news stuff, and then try to end with either just funny stuff or something that's a little uplifting. I do have a new segment that I call Sic Semper Mentallis, which is a very loose or Latin translation of "thus always to dickheads." So I try to find stuff that's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is what you get for being a dickhead. Yeah.
Okay, 3. Anything from you before we bounce?
In my tradition of shilling computer hardware channels, I'd like to shill Pixel Pipes. They only have 24K subs, and they deserve way more because he does great in-depth videos on specific time periods, hardware, small hardware projects that have GitHubs and whatnot, and restoring hardware like custom Voodoo cards and whatnot, comparing the different kinds of GeForce 6800s. Recently, he did a video comparing the FX 5950 to the 9800 XT. Most recent video was a video just on the GeForce 6200, which is really cool because I think that's the fastest low-profile AGP NVIDIA that you can put in a system. It's a great channel. He has lots of in-depth. It's very much my flavor of in-depth retro hardware, where I love tweaking specific video cards that when we were all kids, we probably had low-end stuff. So that stuff interests me.
Oh, we on the way out here, we have a $1 donation over on Cash App from our good friend Violence's Life. Thank you so much, sweetheart. All right. Well, we've come to the end of the stream. That means it's time for American Spirits. I will pop the link in the chat one more time, and then I will be headed there myself. I hope to see you all in the chat, and I will see you guys next week at the same time with more friends for more Discordant Dragons. Love yourself, love your people, and speak the truth to all who have the ears to hear it. Keep hard, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night.